Hello, I'm going to do a quick video on this little gadget here. It is the Checked VAD Pro digital gauge thing. Unfortunately, I didn't do an install video. I wish that I had. I really wish I had, but didn't do it. I can answer a couple questions. The instructions that it comes with are garbage. I had looked at them before purchasing, and I was like, oh, that's not too hard. No big deal. Well, it was a little bigger deal than they let on. First, let's see. I ended up taking, I believe the instructions say to take this piece off, and then I think it was optional to take this piece off, if I remember correctly. Oops. And then they want you to take this piano black, like triangular shaped piece. Sorry, I don't have the radio on, so you can't really kind of see the shape of it. But what I ended up also taking off was this piece too. And I don't think I took off anything more in here. I know I had to get to behind like this fabric portion there. It's all pretty obvious. Be careful with stuff like this. There is a plug, obviously, for this LED light. But this is also tethered, and so is this triangular piece here on the right side of the infotainment screen. I'm assuming they do that in case this airbag goes off, you don't get a face full of plastic. And also this, when you're pulling back, be careful. There are two tabs on either end, and it's like a T-shaped T-shaped tab that goes into the dash and then goes to the side. So you kind of have to, after you get the, like the pop clips, what do you want to call them, the tension clips. After you get those done, you're gonna. This end came out. This end I had to fight with a little bit, but it did come out. It just hangs there, obviously, because of the tether. Now, running the wires, I had to. The reason I took this off is to get to the two bolts that are here for the screen. It's just, I wouldn't necessarily. I guess it is a flat screen. It's kind of a thick flat screen, but I had to get behind there to run the wire down to the OBD port, and then the plastic. It's like where the defroster tube goes through there. I have the USB cable sitting in there just for ease of access because I've needed it about 1,000 times, and I'll get into that in a second. The other instructions, I mean, they totally left this out. So when you pull this, your thing is out, your vent out. You think like, oh, I just put this back into the vent piece and you're good to go. No, you're not. You are separating. You're pulling the stock vent out. I'm trying to remember how you first pull the the actual vent, like this stuff out, and then you're kind of left with this surround here. It may not look like it initially, but it is two pieces. You're just gonna have to finagle it and get it apart, and then it goes onto what Checked provides you. A lot of the mount is 3D printed. It isn't exact. I ended up using some epoxy for plastics to get it to set right and to look more OEM. And then running the wires was a bitch. I'm pretty sure I went over top of the steering column and kind of went down to behind the little like storage drawer thing, and kind of out that way and through like where there's an interior light is down there. You'll see all this. I'm not going to tell you how to run the wires because you're just going to do what makes you feel happy. And the directions does show you to do this. These came off pretty easily. One thing I didn't notice, and I'll take the blame for my crappy eyesight, you have no vent left. Some of their other offerings, you still have like a little bit blown through over here, like for the GTI in the Golf R and stuff. I don't remember if it was the 7s or the 8s, but like you still have a little bit of airflow. This is nothing. This is a solid piece. I mean, I don't know, I haven't really noticed it too much. Matter of fact, from doing something else the other day, I had turned the HVAC system off, and I didn't even notice it this morning on the way into work. And I'm pretty big about airflow, so cool. Which brings me to the fun I've been having over the last 3 weeks. When I got this thing, well, I think all of them never experienced. Not a whole lot of information going on online. You have to upload a file to the screen. I guess it's like a translator file or whatever, and kind of you get all your doodads. Mine didn't work. Period. I couldn't even find one. You have to get like your engine code, which this will do, so you don't have to like look for anything. So that's fine. But yeah, you gotta. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. So nothing worked. Everything was all grayed out. Also, this needed a firmware update, which did not. I couldn't get to work. Turns out that the link in their software to update it is wrong. So don't do that. Go around, like kind of go around. Go straight to their website, and then find. They have like a updating program, and just be sure you get the right one. I wouldn't. That was my whole problem to start with. Then I started a conversation with their tech. I'm assuming it's one tech support guy because I keep hearing from the same guy. And we just kept trying files and files and some example files. We would get a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time. And lately, I've been working on some of the individual things. Like I've got water temp, that's transmission temp, and then that's the oil temp. I had some basics to start out with, like boost and voltage, and I was able to get my air fuel ratio and like speed, and I think water temp was pretty right on. And also be aware that every time you upload a new file to this, it'll change it over the units. It'll change it. So every time, and it's very fidgety. The whole thing is fidgety. If you're like a person who likes to mess with stuff and just like play with things, you can redo every one of these. You can have 11 different screens. You'll notice my little tweak. I added the Audi S logo to it. There was their logo, and I don't have a lot of screens set up. There's supposed to be a gear display in the middle. We're working on that right now. This is probably my last thing. I thought I'd put the S in that gauge too, but I guess not. I must have forgotten. But this is 3 gauges. I don't know why the water temp is like that. I probably have to go in there. This thing is so fidgety. Like anytime you upload a new file, you got to go in and set some of the parameters for the for everything. Yep, because this all should be at half-ish. So I'm not even going to go into it. I mean, if you're one to figure things out pretty quickly, it's not super hard, but I mean, I got what I wanted here. And I guess like you can do layers. So you can do gauge face, the gauge, it's completely tweakable. I mean, you can make some pretty cool stuff in there. I'm not doing it. I wanted a boost gauge, I wanted a real water temperature gauge, I wanted transmission temp, and I wanted oil temp, and a couple other things. I think I got air fuel ratio is nice. Intake temp, that's kind of nice to have. I got on the third one. I don't think I have anything different on there. That's gearbox again, and that's voltage, obviously. It's turning red because I think the threshold has changed when I upload. You can change the brightness. I forget that you can do that right there. So anyway, that's it. I'm not going to talk any longer. If you should, I forgot to mention what kind of. Obviously, 2024 Audi S3 should be all the way back to 2022 for the U.S. and 2020 for rest of the world. Either 21 or 20. I can never remember. Which may even be a whole other ball game. Anyway, if you got questions, I'm pretty responsive. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm still stumbling around, so we'll do our best. I will say their tech support is very responsive. other than the weekends, obviously that's understandable, no big deal. So that's a plus. Anyway, good luck.